Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the all-new LS2 Advant X helmet. Now, LS2 already has an Advent in their line, and if you're looking at that, this is the Advant X, which takes the polycarb Advent and gives it a fiberglass shell construction for a couple bucks more. You're looking at about $50 to $60 more, coming in around the $430 price point. This helmet is one that we call reverse modular, something that can easily be flipped back into the 3/4 helmet position if you want to go down the road, get a little bit more airflow in, or if you're more conscious about getting your chin hit in an accident or anything like that, you can still keep it down if you're going on highway speeds or at higher speeds. So I do like this overall design. We've seen it from brands like LS2, we've seen it from Shark in their Evo line series as well. So a popular design, but I like that the LS2 is giving you a fiberglass option just to help lessen the weight a little bit, but also reinforce the main shell construction. But before I get too long-winded, let's talk about some of the main features of this helmet. You are looking at sizes ranging from extra small up to 3 extra large. Again, comes in at that $430 price point with a few colors available, and the fiberglass shell with 2 shell sizes splitting right at the large. So extra small to large is one shell, XL to 3XL is the second shell size, with a DOT and ECE safety rating. Now the overall fit is intermediate oval, so it's a little bit longer front to back than it is side to side, and I found that this fit true to size. I'm usually medium in almost every single helmet that I wear, and a medium in this LS2 fit me spot on, so no surprises there. Again, the overall shell shape I think is fantastic for anybody looking to doing any touring or any long distance riding or even just commuting around the city. A nice feature about this reversible shell and putting it in that upright position is if, say, you live in the suburbs, you're riding the highway to the city. Once you get to the city and you're going light to light, you can flip that back and just get a little bit more airflow at those lower speeds. So I do like this design, and it is something that we've seen customers really enjoy over the years, something we get questions on all the time. When you're looking at the main shield construction right at the top, one thing I want to point out, and it's something that we noticed right away, is that you do have the lift tab dead center on the shield. It's up high on the top. We usually see it down low, but again, with this shield flipping up or the chin bar flipping up, you do have a clearance issue there. So LS2 decided to move that up higher. And it's a real easy system when it comes to removing the shield. There's just a trigger over on the left and right hand side that you can pull back, and then the shield will pop out of the pivot system over there. But I do like with the shield that it is pin lock ready, pin lock included in the box, and when you open the chin bar, it does slide up and out of the way. So it's not something that the chin bar had to go farther out to clear it. I do like that they did that. I wish it would have come back down. We've seen that from other brands like Schuberth. When you open the modular, sometimes it'll pull the shield back down. Those are a little bit more expensive, but I would have liked to see an LS2 maybe attempt to do that. Maybe in the future we can see that as well. You'll see in there is a drop down smoke visor inside it as well, with the trigger mechanism right over here on the left. A nice sliding system on the left side. That'll help drop it down. Good coverage. Could have been a little bit longer. Again, I think it's something that sits just below the eye line. I usually like it a little bit lower just so it's not a distraction, but I do like that they're adding it in there. When it comes to ventilation, I'll flip this back forward and you can take a look. There is a chin bar vent that goes directly to the face, and you can activate that from the outside. And there's also a top vent that is a sliding system up here that'll get air flowing right through to the top of your head, with 2 exhaust vents at the rear with this nice little activation trigger that you can open and close it if you want to turn that venting off. I typically don't turn off any exhaust venting when it comes to helmets. I like that hot air to get out, but it's sometimes I have to turn off the intake air. One thing I will note, I would have loved to see maybe LS2 add some additional venting. It looks like it was in the concept and in the design when it comes to this hex pattern over on the sides. Would have loved to see an additional venting on there just for those hotter days. But again, the argument can be made that if it is so hot out, you're just going to flip this up and back just to get airflow straight through to your face. So not too upset about it. Looking at the aerodynamics of this helmet, I want to call out that chin, I do like that they decided to make that chin curtain blend right into the top of the shell, just so it nice and streamlined and helps the air flow off in the back. Doesn't cause any turbulence or anything like that, and it won't cause any excessive noise, just because they did streamline it all the way down. Overall, though, I think it's a very nice touring shell size, something that can easily be worn for extended miles, say if you're touring across the US or you're just commuting on a longer commute. I think this is going to be a solid helmet for you out there. Let's get into the internals of this Advant X though. One thing I want to point out is just how robust this cheek pad system is. It is tied in with the overall padding going around. That nice tight up against your neck feeling is going to help reduce wind noise going through. It's going to reduce any of that turbulence coming around there. We've seen it from brands like Shoei as well, where you see that hugging up against the neck really reduces any of that vibration. But I'll go ahead and remove this system on here. Again, it just pops out. It is emergency release cheek pads. In the event of an accident, they will slide right out, but it does come out fairly easy. And again, you can see it's just tied into the entire neck roll, but a nice cutout for speaker pockets and everything like that on the outer cheek pad that allow the noise to go through. And speaking of those speaker pockets, let me remove this micro ratchet system, and we can get a good glimpse at that. You do have speaker pockets in there. Again, they're a little bit on the shallow and smaller side for what I consider modern speakers out there. If you're looking at like Cardo or Sena using the JBL or the Harman Kardon speakers, I think those could have been a little bit deeper, a little bit bigger if you want to use those. LS2 does have their own proprietary system though that will tie into this helmet very well, but just keep that in mind if you're bringing your own universal system to this helmet when you get it. Removing the top liner, no snaps at the front, but you do have 2 snaps at the rear. Get that out there. Like I said, no snaps at the front, it just goes into a brown mount. Good amount of ventilation throughout that top liner, and there's 2 snaps at the back. You don't really feel those too much, so I do like that they only have them at the back. Sometimes if they are at the forehead, you can feel them pushing into and causing pressure points. Give you a good look at the interior of this helmet. You do have some channels in the EPS. Nothing crazy. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit deeper, but I have seen ones that don't have any sort of channels in the EPS, so I can't be too upset at LS2. I do think they designed it to be a good ventilating helmet, and if you need more ventilation, again, you can open up that chin bar. All in though, for $430, I think the Advant X is a solid option for any touring riders out there, anybody who's looking to maybe get the modularity aspect of the helmet for, like I said, if you're commuting on highways, then riding into the city and getting slower speeds, this will help you out in flowing a ton of air. But if you have any other questions, go ahead and click that info button. That's gonna take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the Advant X. If you still have questions after that, feel free to reach out to our customer service team. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me and taking a look at the LS2 Advant X helmet. I'm Pat, and I'll see you in the next video.